Bookers Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. This is a wrestling podcast. I'm BasementJer, and that's RichTheRiz, the current champion. RichTheRiz, tell us what this is. If you might have accidentally found this when your YouTube is still playing on another wrestling podcast, preferably, or like you're going into the WWE.com and all of a sudden this pops up on your watch and you're like, what is this that I'm watching? How would you
Yeah,
describe it?
if you fell asleep during your autoplay on YouTube, what you are listening to now is the Basement Bookers podcast. We talk about pro wrestling, primarily WWE, and in this case, we are reviewing this past week's Royal Rumble event, the fallout from it, and of course, super early predictions and thoughts for WrestleMania.
Uh,
So that's what we got on deck for you today.
Hello there. You may notice that this week's episode, my audio was a little bit lower than Rich's. There were some technical difficulties. Still getting used to this up. I'm used to wearing the headset also and not having to be worrying about where I am in relation to the microphones. I'm still trying to get used to that. Hopefully, it improves for the better, and we don't have to worry too much about these things. So please enjoy the rest of this episode. It was a fun one. Don't want the fact that I screwed up audio-wise to take away from it, and we thank you. All right, fair enough. So we're gonna just, I guess, go from there. That's the best you can do there, which is fine. And I guess that's really why I asked you.
I
To
did my
do it.
best. I did my best.
Yeah, you did, and that's good enough, I guess. This week is Royal Rumble. It's also the last Royal Rumble review, because you've seen everyone else's. This is Sunday. By now, you might have already. If you missed the live stream, we watched it there. And Monday Night Raw, which every Monday we'll get together and we'll watch Monday Night Raw on Netflix with you. So just keep that in mind. If there's ever any changes, we'll let you know. We'll let you know, you know, right before, 5 minutes before, we'll let you know. But normally, yeah, we will just be here to do this. So yeah, tomorrow will be the second Raw after the Royal Rumble match,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll talk about that. But today we're here for the Royal Rumble, and I guess the best thing to do to get started with that is to start with the first match, and the first match was the women's Royal Rumble match. Ladies first. It's ladies' night, and it was a night for one woman in particular. But
Mm-hmm.
before we get to that, Rich, do you have any like interesting Royal Rumble stats that you would like to share about this particular women's Royal Rumble match?
Uh, not prepared. I can find.
Well, it just so happens that the women's Royal Rumble match,
Mm-hmm.
this is the second Royal Rumble match that Charlotte Flair has won, making her the first woman to win more than one Royal Rumble match. This
Yes.
also puts Roxanne Perez as the Iron Woman of the Royal Rumble match. It's believed that she now has the longest staying in a women's Royal Rumble match as of this Sunday. So we have here, Rich he has the list of everybody that was in and when they came in.
Yes.
Um,
So going by when they came into the match. Io Sky and Liv Morgan got us started. Third was Roxanne Perez. She was in it for an hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds. Fourth was Lyra Valkyria, Chelsea Green, B Fab, Ivy Nile, Zoe Stark, Lash Legend, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, Bailey, Sonya, Maxine. That was a little raw block right there, those four. Naomi, Jada Parker, Piper Niven, Natalia, Jordan Grace, Michin, Alexa Bliss, Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, Stephanie Vaquer, Trish Stratus, Raquel Rodriguez, Charlotte Flair at number 27. And as soon as she came out at number 27, I'm like, for the men's Royal Rumble, that is the most popular winning number. 28 was Julia, 29 Nia Jax, 30 Nikki Bella.
Okay, that's right. Nikki Bella's come back. Roxanne Perez was the one eliminated by Charlotte Flair. She made it from number 3 to all the way at the end, so you can see who they're trying to prep for next year to be annoying
Hmm.
for everyone. Because from what I understand, she's officially Roxanne Perez is roster bound to probably Raw. Um, Raw has recently made room on their roster.
That's right, they
Right
have.
now, Sonya Deville is. They did not renew her contract. They chose not to renew her, and she's not going to be there anymore. Same for Authors of Pain, along with Paul Ellering. Same for Blair Davenport. Same for Elektra Lopez. Same for the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Same for everybody's favorite, Giovanni Vinci. I saw him at an Evolve show. He interacted with me. He gave me a pound and or slapped my hand or something. But he interacted with me, so
Hmm.
that was nice. It was almost awkward because I'm like, it's not me? Okay, cool. That's awesome.
You're a
And
cool dude. He knows a cool dude when he sees one, bro.
yeah, he's like, this is the saddest looking man at a wrestling show. Meanwhile, it's just my face. It's just my face. I don't know how to
This
tell
is
you
just my
that.
face.
Yeah, so maybe he saw something in me. I don't know, but he's no longer employed there. I don't know why they did that to him. But sometimes you know there's other places, and rumor is that a lot of people were concerned about one person that has been sort of middling um, in the roster. He was a highfalutin. He's very a former NXT champion. A lot of people thought behind the scenes that Carmelo Hayes might have been cut too, but
Mm.
he hasn't been so far. Because ever since he's gone to the main roster, at least in a lot of other people's opinion, mine too a little bit, that didn't really seem to be much of a direction for him. Outside of you know I maybe it was who is partnered with, as in not tag team, but like dance partners, like the whole L.A. Knight Andrade thing.
Hmm.
I felt like to me, and we're going to continue talking about the women's match, but I felt that maybe L.A. Knight, sort of outshines Carmelo Hayes when it comes to talking, when it comes to like that backstage stuff that they were doing.
Hmm.
you know I think that it showed that there's everybody can improve. So maybe they're trying something with him, but I don't think beating up Akira Tozawa really does it for me. But
Mm.
maybe for somebody else it might. And it was interesting that he did the little shovel emote on the
Mm.
turnbuckle, which I thought was kind of messed up, because it's like, yeah, Akira Tozawa's character is not exactly out there, doing so much winning. He's
Hmm.
got a role that he plays. But for you to do that, where, like, my man, like, I don't know what your position is, right now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, you're not NXT Carmelo Hayes. if I'm being honest. Or maybe you always were, and this swimming pool, you went into the 6 foot part,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't swim like me. I can't swim, so I don't go there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't have to worry about the NXT pool because it didn't go up to 6. At 5, you were good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion on Carmelo Hayes there.
Yeah, I wonder if like whoever is running the main roster, they're like, well, let me see more of what he can do in the ring, and that's why they were putting him in matches with Andrade, who is also a good in ring worker. I'm a big fan of Carmelo's in ring work, and his I'm a big fan of his NXT mic work, and I think even if you don't compare to NXT, his NXT mic work is better than his main roster mic work. I feel like they've been scripting him too much or trying to hold him at least close to a script or rein him in or something. If they can just let him tap into whatever he was doing different on the mic in NXT, I think they'll be like, all right, we need to find something real for him to do. Get him working towards the ICU US title.
I personally don't think there's anything I never have. I didn't even mention his ring work because I think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't think you would be doing what you're doing if it's not, because he's not
Mm-hmm.
big. He's not a small man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like a decent move set. But like I was saying, with the pool, the swimming pool analogy,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like if he was, it's hard because people get so angry. But like if he was in like AEW,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like he would just, I think it'd be a different story than what this is here. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
that's from someone who lately hasn't been watching enough of the guys stuff in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, the
So
Tony Storm Mariah May thing is just absolutely stellar.
actually, you know what? As that's fine. I'm actually more interested in Harley Cameron.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
she's doing great work. Like she got over with a puppet, and that to me, I don't know. I always like puppets. I like puppets. I like beautiful women. You put them together, you got a great, and she's got an Australian accent. She's
Mm-hmm.
got everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Apparently
don't
they can't
care.
say no.
They do it better, I think. I think they do it better, if I'm honest.
Mhm.
But
But
yeah,
in all seriousness, ventriloquism is very difficult. It
yeah,
is
but she
in
makes it look easy.
yeah.
She makes it look like it's easy. And I'm not a professional. Like, I don't know if it does look easy or not, but that's that's like what I look for. Like
Mm-hmm.
seeing those, and I'll go and I'll watch my like I would have a DVR full of collisions and shit because it's
Mm-hmm.
like I don't have time, but I made time for those because I saw the social media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So but yes, the women's Royal Rumble match. Any notable things that you remember? Do you maybe you didn't want Charlotte Flair to win? Because I thought that was the most, you know,
Part of
not to
me,
spoil. Yeah,
yeah, part of me definitely didn't want Charlotte to win because Charlotte again. But you know what? When you have you're building WrestleMania is what they're doing here, obviously.
I'm building
And
WrestleMania.
if you have a key component that you know is going to be a little bit of a question mark, which we're absolutely going to get to later, you want your second key component to be solid. And we know Charlotte is a solid worker. She's going to draw, she's going to get heat, or she's going to get cheered or booed or whatever. The fans apparently haven't decided. I know which camp I'm in, but she's gonna draw attention. You know she's gonna deliver in the ring. You know she's gonna deliver on the mic. Even though I think this work was a little iffy, I think she's still trying to feel out the crowd as far as whether or not they want her to be a face or a heel or whatever. But either way, Charlotte is kind of not Dwayne, but The Rock that they're sort of building this WrestleMania women's matches up to. So Charlotte and whatever Elimination Chamber makes happen.
Personally, I think Charlotte just is.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed she's trying to figure something out
Mm-hmm.
on Friday. I think what they're doing is like dependent on where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, uh, I agree with most of that. Um, I think if it wasn't Charlotte Flair, they like the Jey Uso of this match would probably be maybe Io Sky. You would
Mm.
think, but like not as Jey Uso as the Jey Uso. You know what I mean? It's like if she did one, it's like, yeah, yeah. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't. The difference between the men's and the women's is the pool was smaller. And
Mm-hmm.
when I say that, I mean, and it's not a swimming pool analogy, but like the fact that in the men's Royal Rumble, you had all these heavy hitters
Mm-hmm.
that we'll talk about later, towards the end. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it's like any one of those guys could have won the Royal Rumble match, whereas the women's Royal Rumble match, it's like, okay, Charlotte Flair right off the gate, we were like, okay, boom, that one. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Maybe a Bianca Belair, maybe a Liv Morgan, maybe an Io Sky, but everybody else, I don't know. I don't think so. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have taken a Naomi, or if yeah, like Naomi, I would have taken like that would have been a big surprise, but I would have been, oh, that's pretty cool that she won the Royal Rumble match, or Jordan Grace, win the Royal Rumble match. That would
Mm-hmm.
be interesting because it's like she's never wrestled any of those women.
Yeah.
Um,
Among
and
among some of the last women to be eliminated, definite strong potential winners I think would have been Nia Jax, Bailey, or Liv Morgan, or Bianca even, or Naomi. They
Bailey
were
eliminated by
like the
Nikki
last eight.
Bella.
Yeah.
By the way, so Trish Stratus was there.
Mm-hmm.
Her winning would have been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You could have had Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. I would have done that. Even if she chose Rhea Ripley, that would be fascinating too. I mean, she'd kill her,
Mm.
but it's maybe Tiffany Stratton would have been the better matchup for that one. Um,
Probably.
so any notes for aside from the return of Alexa Bliss to the
Mm.
Royal Rumble match? Alexa Bliss,
Happy to see her
entrant
back.
number 21.
Happy to see her back. I love Alexa Bliss. Glad to see that she, we'll talk about it more later, but she is on her way to Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, and the Blue Brand is her
Mm-hmm.
home.
Yep. Which
So
is about what I predicted, given that the Wyatt Six are there. I think they're at minimum they're gonna do will she won't she join the Wyatt Six eventually.
I personally, from the all the stuff that they gave us, I hope it's not.
I know.
Because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's where they were going in the first place. I mean, she's got the jacket. Like, why wouldn't she? Like, she's got Lily's there. It's
Mm-hmm.
all there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Also, Nikki Cross. They were tag champs twice.
that's right. That's right. But I don't. I really don't see her not joining them. But if she doesn't, it's fine. Like, I'm not. Right now, like Bo Dallas is not on the road, so I don't know
Hmm.
what's going on with him. Um,
I hope he's okay.
maybe he's probably okay. It's just that there's nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're on SmackDown now. Like, What is there to do there right now for that team? What are you gonna do? I'm asking you, the basement booker,
Me?
on the
What
right or left, depending on which way you're viewing this.
you
Maybe
guys
you're
could be
watching in a
mirrored.
mirror.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's a good question. What do they do right now? The rosters are pretty much locked in. The build to WrestleMania is underway. It's ultimately, I think, going to be a question of, do the Wyatt Six have something to do at WrestleMania? If the answer is yes, then obviously that's what they start building. What the hell should that be? I don't know. I can't remember rosters, and all the rosters just changed. Um, if not, then it makes sense to hold off, let Alexa do this thing in the Elimination Chamber, and then maybe after WrestleMania, they'll start something up where is Alexa going to join the Wyatt Six or is she not? Maybe Nikki Cross comes up to her. They have a chat. Probably Nikki Cross will like leave something in her locker room,
I was
and
gonna
there'll be
say
some of
have a
that kind of.
chat. What character are you talking to? Doesn't seem very chatty as
That's
Sister Abigail Cross.
it's a good point. Also, so Alexa's finisher from SmackDown is not Sister Abigail. It's more
No.
of what's his name's Ludwig Kaiser's like DDT where he gets him under and it's like swings him around to a DDT. Sister Abigail was more of like an impaler, just starting from here and whipping you around.
Yeah, I think for her Sister Abigail, she should just French kiss her opponent and then hit the rest of the move. But hey, um, you know, we live in a different time, and SmackDown's unfortunately on Friday. We won't get that. So maybe on a Netflix crossover. Who knows? That's a joke. Don't worry. We'll see about that. But yeah, I don't see. I mean, Miz is there. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was already done. So what do I know? Maybe they'll clash there. But
Perhaps.
for right now,
Perhaps.
yeah, for right now, that's it with that. So, all right. So we're done with the women's Royal Rumble. We have our winner. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about what the future holds. Now we've had this conversation on the Monday Night Raw live stream last Monday on the
Mm-hmm.
Basement Bookers Podcast YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and you and a lot of viewers feel that it should be Rhea Ripley that Charlotte Flair goes for. Do you want to give your rationale on that first?
I think it makes sense. It's a good follow up to the feud that Charlotte and Rhea had for the NXT Women's title the last time that Charlotte won the Royal Rumble. And Rhea, the NXT Women's Champ at the time, goaded Charlotte into choosing her. I think it it kind of just makes sense. They could just build off of that, and if Rhea were to win, then her character is just that much stronger. I think we can all agree Charlotte certainly does not need a championship. Should her character get the title again? Certainly. At Mania? Maybe not. I don't think it's that big of a pop. Maybe post Mania. But um a lot of questions. Like I think really we can't make any sort of educated guesses or bookings until we get past Elimination Chamber. That is always the roadblock on the road to WrestleMania. And I don't like roadblocks. I want to see what happens first and then figure it out.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man,
That's
and
right.
you were asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is that I said this before, and I'm going to say it again here because I said it on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not interested in that matchup again. Um, for starters, right? So we didn't just see. I could have sworn we had Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania with people also. Like, unless I'm misremembering something, but
Hmm.
if you could look that up for me, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, um, that would be great.
Let me see. Give me a minute to scroll through some here.
Yeah, because she, yeah, it was the WrestleMania goes Hollywood. Okay,
39? Okay.
so you're so you that match was the follow up to Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Championship. They did that already.
Ah.
Okay, I think that you're forgetting that.
Yeah, that
Um,
happens.
so and so yeah, that's part of the reason why it's like okay, but we saw that. You know what I mean? We saw Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. It wasn't that long ago. You know, it was the same one where Roman beat Cody. You know,
Mm.
and the argument also for that, by the way, April 1st, 2023 is when it happened. It's not that long
Hmm.
ago. It's longer ago than Gunter folding up Jey Uso like a pretzel on Saturday night's main event, but we had that already. Which this is why I keep thinking that it should be Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton.
Mm.
Especially after Friday's segment with them,
Hmm.
where she goes, when I'm in the ring with Rhea Ripley, I see a kid, and I'm in here with you, I see a baby who's begging for a match at WrestleMania against me.
Hmm.
And I think that's not going to work. That's not going to. That's something's going to happen with that. I don't think you just say shit like that. I don't know who the baby face or who the heel's going to be in that. It could be either one.
Hmm.
But that'll depend on the fans. I think they're more behind Tiffany Stratton.
Hmm.
So I think in the weeks going forward, you're going to see Charlotte Flair just being nasty because she's going to be there on Friday for the match between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton.
Hmm. Which is going to end in some sort of
I'm pretty sure it's
shenanigans.
for the belt.
Yeah.
So that's why Charlotte's going to be there for that. So that's what I think. That's
Woo!
what that's this is the evidence. This is what I think. This is why I think that Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, we're not doing that again until maybe another time. I think the match right now is Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think new blonde versus older blonde. That's the thing. You know,
Hmm.
young lioness versus old lioness. Things like that. You're not allowed to use the OLD word with women, but she is in fact a little bit older. Um,
More experienced.
Seasoned. She's
Hmm.
got all the pedigree or whatever. Mostly
Hmm.
beating up Sasha Banks, but that's another story.
Whatever happened to her?
But I don't know. I think she's like she makes music now. I think.
Oh, that's
Good.
cool.
Yeah. Uh, all right. So anything else for the women's Royal Rumble match? We're just gonna move on. We spent a
No,
half hour on that.
think that covered
um.
that.
All right. So the next match on the card, I believe, was Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY.
That's right.
Um,
Two out of three falls.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 falls where the Street Profits screwed me. Um, they got in the way. They got into business that wasn't really theirs at the time. However, when you are in a tag team division, the tag team titles are your business. And they're making it their business. And because of what happened, if they don't do something with them, I'm going to be very upset.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Friday, they did a little promo, which leads you to believe, okay, this is, here they are,
Mm-hmm.
the Street Profits, and they're going to do some damage here, they're saying. What's the word? They're motivated now. They
Mm-hmm.
want a piece. They want to be the tag team champions.
Yeah.
Um,
They I've said for a while that they need more of an edge. They're great in the ring, they're great on the mic, but they're primarily entertaining. I need to see ferocity out of them. I need to see some violence, and we got that. We're getting that. I want to see it continue because I want to see the dark side of the Street Profits. That they're not just here to have fun and hopefully win a tag title. That they're here to take the tag titles, and I want to see it. I'm here for it. Street Profits versus DIY down the road. Probably an Elimination Chamber, if not the long build to Mania.
yeah, probably because, the right now, DIY, they've been pinned by Pretty Deadly. So Pretty
Yep.
Deadly now, they should have a title opportunity.
I believe it's a title shot
Um,
next week.
yes. So now they have a title shot next week. I'm pretty sure Street Profits are gonna ruin that, and DIY are just gonna win the match, and then I guess roll on from there. But like I said before, regardless of who wins, they're still going to have to deal, unless that was a throwaway scene, which it could be, with Tamatonga and Jacob Fatu.
Nah, I think.
Tamatonga was eyeing that belt.
Mhm.
If you're gonna put a championship on Jacob Fatu right now with Tamatonga, tag team champions, why not just do that?
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. I mean, it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that we have a tag team elimination chamber match for the tag titles.
yeah,
There's enough
maybe.
teams. There are enough teams interested. There are enough teams that have a claim, legitimate or not.
But here's the problem, buddy.
Mm,
There's never been three. There's always two. You know what I mean? The reason they had a tag team one before was they didn't have like one of the it was either men's or the women's didn't have an elimination chamber. You know what I
so they
mean?
haven't done three yet. That doesn't mean they're not going to.
I guess, but I think it's like a time issue. So unless the pay per view is gonna be if elimination chamber, 3 elimination chamber matches,
Mm,
which you theoretically you could do because you already have the women's elimination chamber match and the men's elimination chamber match,
hmm
right?
Yeah,
Then you've
having
got
three, that's about 2 hours, give or take, right there, including entrances and promos and such.
yeah, and with elimination chamber you want to give it time,
Hmm.
and also they need time to fix it, because people break through the plexiglass and all this stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm not gonna discount it, but I think the more exciting thing to do is a ladder match. If instead, like I'd rather have a ladder match than an elimination chamber match with tag teams
Given that the
because
chamber is stored hanging from the rafters, I'm not positive they can do a ladder match in the
I
same
wasn't
night.
saying to do it at elimination chamber. I'm saying if you want to do like a multi-team
Hmm.
tag team match, it shouldn't be in a chamber. It should be in a ladder match, not necessarily at elimination chamber. Maybe WrestleMania,
All
but you
right,
could do a tables, ladders, and chairs match at
that
WrestleMania.
That sounds like a good match. Yeah, and you know what? That gives them plenty of time to build it too.
Yeah, it's like table, ladders, and chairs. Like already, like you're gonna have Motor City Machine Guns. You have
Hmm.
DIY, Street
Hmm.
Profits, pretty deadly,
Pretty
by the
deadly.
way,
Hmm.
and Tamatanga and
Jacob
Jacob
Fatu.
Fatu. Um, so maybe you add one more team. I don't know, but that's not my job. I'm just doing it here. It's a basement bookers thing, so that's what I think. If they want to do
Five,
that
five,
tag team title,
five, five teams in a TLC is already kind of a lot.
yeah. So
I don't know,
they'll do
but
5 teams then. You
if you're
know,
gonna do it big.
yeah. So you could do that easily at WrestleMania, and I get
Yeah.
it. They already did. They did. They had the ladder match for the undisputed tag team championships. I believe last year.
Hmm.
Um, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's a little too hacky just to throw it in another ladder match. I guess I didn't think about last year, but whatever. I mean, it could
But
be anything.
you got a point. You got so many teams involved.
Yeah.
It can't be a standard match. You can't just pick two of the teams and be like, all right, maybe next year, guys.
Yeah, I don't. I think tag team wrestling is fun, but I feel like it needs to be made into a spectacle for WrestleMania. I think.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of purists out there. What the fuck you talking about, brother? You
Hmm.
could do a regular tag team match, man. You could take it serious. Like I take it all very seriously. As a matter of fact, some might say too seriously. When you talk about the men's Royal Rumble match.
Hmm. You respect
But I
tag team wrestling almost
disagree.
as much as FTR does.
Listen, if you respect the tag rope, then you should be the tag team champions. So you should have an opportunity.
Mm.
Um, Otherwise, no. And you should be deported from tag team wrestling and
Yes.
remain on the island of singles. Um,
Mm.
so let's
Yeah,
head on
Marty.
over. Yeah, yeah. Let's head on over to what this was a surprise. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens. It's like, oh, guy. All right, these guys again. But there was a story told here with Cody and Kevin Owens.
Hmm.
Kevin Owens believes, after that Saturday night's main event match, that he's the real world champion, and that's why
Hmm.
he's got the winged eagle with him. A lot of people said he was delusional, um, and I think it's partially correct, but Kevin Owens, in his mind, is right. And this match was brutal. It ended with an Alabama slam through the ladder to Kevin Owens. That was the final move.
Hmm.
Sami Zayn was there. And you could go back to the live watch together where we watched the Royal Rumble match. And I had said, after this, Kevin Owens is going to be mad at Sami Zayn
Hmm.
because he didn't help him. He was there and he could have and he didn't.
Hmm.
And Kevin Owens, to his credit, put the seasoning on this platter on Friday Night SmackDown with another world famous Kevin Owens car video, in which he's almost crying,
Hmm.
you know. And I felt that because I felt betrayed by friends that I thought really gave a shit, and they chose other people that wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. You know what I mean? And that
Hmm.
fucking hurts my feelings. And I felt that in Kevin Owens when he was like, I watched a Royal Rumble match and I saw you help Roman Reigns and you couldn't help me after everything he's done to you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it's like, but Kevin Owens done a lot of shit to Sami Zayn, and I'm sure Kevin knows that. But it's his mind right now. It's what's happening, most recent. That hurt his feelings. He,
Hmm.
he was almost crying in there, and I felt that. And he's really mad. There's this thin line between love and hate. When you love somebody and then you're mad at them and you feel betrayed by them,
Mhm.
that's like a different thing. Like, I would go further to even say, in that moment, he's more upset at Sami Zayn than he ever was at Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns tried to end his career, like all this
Mhm.
shit. But like Sami Zayn's supposed to be his friend, like his
Right.
best friend.
Mhm.
And he did that to him. So that like I think that moves him up, you know, the anger list on Kevin Owens. So now Sami Zayn, after receiving a package pile driver at the end of Raw,
Mhm.
is out indefinitely.
Yeah.
Just like Roman, but for different
To
reason.
yeah, to love is to be vulnerable with someone, to open up to them, to let them in, to let them see who you are inside, your 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 fears, your dreams, and all of that. And him and Sammy had that as best friends for years. And in Kevin Owens' perspective, Sami Zayn chose to help Kevin Owens' worst enemy, which makes Kevin Owens so angry at Sami Zayn that he almost hates him more than his worst enemy, and maybe he does. And that's not something that can be discarded. That is, it's like Sammy should know how Kevin feels because they went through it together. They fought the Usos at WrestleMania in the main event, a main event. Kevin feels Sammy should know better. Roman's done so much bad stuff to Kevin Owens and to Sami Zayn.
Yeah, like put their families through hell.
Right.
If you think about it.
Mhm.
And, the fact that Sami Zayn could have helped him
Mhm.
become the WWE champion.
Mhm.
And he almost like you see that the ending to that where his head is like was in that ladder hole,
Mhm.
like the little between the two rungs,
Mhm.
just like bent over, like destroyed,
Mhm.
comes out a bloody mess. Like his career could have been over.
Mhm.
And like you're his best friend and you couldn't help him. Like, what are you talking about here? You
Yeah.
telling me you couldn't take Cody Rhodes out and put Kevin Owens on him? And
Mhm.
then there's that infamous photo where it's Cody Rhodes standing on the table
Mhm.
and in front of him, like he's standing on a table triumphantly.
Mhm.
And right below, a bloody Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just trying to be there for his friend because he thinks that's enough.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and that visual stays.
Mhm. The best storylines are the ones that seem the most realistic and are so well rooted and grounded in reality. Something that could really happen. And this is something that could really happen in real life, where Sammy's just caught between his best friend of forever and someone he's loyal to that has wronged him but has seemingly turned over a new leaf or is trying to turn over a new leaf, and you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. So this is I love this storyline, and Kevin Owens is not wrong. Just because he is the heel doesn't make him wrong, and that also doesn't make Sami Zayn wrong either, which is why this is so great. It's intriguing, it's enthralling.
Everybody picks a side that way because there's going to
That,
be people, fans that agree with Sami Zayn,
hmm
and some people that see what Kevin Owens sees.
right.
And that I think makes for compelling television.
Yeah.
So
And I like to
uh,
call Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I like to call this the Fight Forever tour
there's
because
a rumor
hmm
that they could have a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. That's a rumor,
ooh,
and it's
that's
like
money.
I don't even know what the card looks like, but I'm a little bit more interested in that than Gunter versus Jey Uso. And it's like, why? They fight forever everywhere. But it's like, I don't know. But this time it's this story. This story's
Hmm
happening. You know, he could have gone into WrestleMania as the WWE champion.
And
You know,
Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens would be great. You have that history with KO versus the Bloodline.
that's right.
That can
But
absolutely happen.
yeah, so I guess that's a good way to segue into the men's Royal Rumble match then.
Yes.
Men's Royal Rumble match, statistically, is the longest WWE wrestling match ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, so it was about 80 minutes or so
Hmm.
uh, total. And yeah, from what I understand, it's like the longest WWE match in history. I think there was one where it's like San Martino versus I forgot who, but it was like just a little bit under that because
Mm.
in wrestling back then, say if something went like 80 minutes, it wouldn't be that. It's like, oh, it was 60 or whatever. Like they'll inflate
Hmm.
numbers like they do with like weight classes and things like that.
Attendance.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Famously at the post show,
Hmm.
where Triple H is talking about how much people is there, and it was more than the number that was on the Chiron on the right under him. So,
Mm.
whoops. Um, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble match. What do you think about it? Uh, how it started, how it's going. Um, who'd you like in there? Um, was Penta eliminated from the Royal Rumble match earlier than he was supposed to be? Because it looked like the 2 feet touched the ground at
Mm.
one point, and it was at that point that Pat had said we need to see a replay of that or something like that, and it was never said again. Like
Mm.
it was like, nah, don't even worry about it. You know what I
I
mean?
That's interesting because I feel like maybe we have not being on the inside, not knowing Triple H and everything. Maybe we have a different view of him than is realistic, but I feel like stifling something like that is more of a Vinceism, whereas Triple H would be like, well, he's not supposed to win anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, let's replay it. Okay, both his feet are down. All right, pull his ass out.
Yeah. It,
I get the impression
accidents
Triple H would do
happen.
that. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, as long as they're not supposed to be one of the last two or three out there, because that that's when all eyes are really on it, and that's where you know that's those are the series of spots that has really been planned meticulously because you don't want Cena versus Batista again.
yeah.
So and we don't want Triple H tearing his quad again. So I feel like as long as it's not one of those guys, yeah. If he was eliminated earlier than he should be, but camera showed it, pull him out. He's done.
Penta was in there for 42 minutes.
It's a good amount of
He
time.
was he was the longest person in the Royal Rumble match this year.
Wow.
Um,
He is 39. So Penta and Ray started, which I think was a fun start. It was a good way to start. Fast pace, hype. Then you had Gable, then Hayes, then Santos. So the first five guys, you got these smaller, more agile guys to keep the crowd interested, going. Fast start. Then you had Otis and Braun come in, and Braun's an absolute beast. 8 was supposed to be Tozawa. Gable was upset, clocked Tozawa from behind. So Triple H, on the spot, picked I Show Speed to go out there and get speared by Braun Breaker. It doesn't matter
yeah,
who. Mm-hmm.
He didn't just get speared by Braun Breaker, though. The first thing he did, he helped Braun Breaker eliminate Otis from the
Mm-hmm.
Royal Rumble. So that places Otis outside by the ring announcer table. And then Braun Breaker proceeds to, as Speed is doing whatever, he did a backflip,
Mm-hmm.
and Breaker's running the ropes. You can see what's going to happen.
Yep.
Uh, shows Speed,
Mm-hmm.
proceeds to press him and toss him out. Otis grabs him
Mm-hmm.
and sack of shit slams him over the announce table
Mm-hmm.
into like where the commentators are.
Yeah. So
And Speed
Wikipedia.
said he will never do wrestling ever again. And it does say that Otis
Mm-hmm.
eliminates him technically because he
Right.
caught him. His feet didn't touch the ground
Mm-hmm.
until he was thrown over the table. So,
Right. So I think Braun lost out on that deal. He should have 4 eliminations instead of 3.
yeah, because I mean, Otis was eliminated, right? So how is it that he
Mm.
eliminated Speed? But I guess it's because I don't get it because if you're already eliminated, how can you eliminate somebody?
Well, Hogan eliminated someone, allowing I think it was Lex Luger or something, allowing Ric Flair to retain or to become world champion in that famous Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but
Um,
Otis didn't actively toss him out. He was tossed
right.
to him.
Right. So I'm on the same page with you there. It should be credited to the person that got the person over the top rope and then
If
off the
Otis wasn't
apron.
there, he would have fallen onto the ground.
Right. I think the perspective that whoever edited this Wikipedia page has is that, well, Otis could have put him in the ring, but instead he decided to toss him.
So there's a little F
Hmm.
on there, and it
Hmm.
says that Otis was already eliminated when he eliminated Speed.
Yes. So,
Semantics, I guess.
exactly. That being said, that was a great spot. That was a memorable spot.
It's the
It's one of
most
those the
popular
mm,
wrestling tweet of all time
incredible. It was
for now.
yeah, exactly. It's definitely a memorable moment. It's a Royal Rumble moment forever. Um, Sheamus, I'm not going to list everyone here, but we had Joe Hendry.
Yeah, we
Crowd
did. We did.
crowd wasn't singing
Uh,
along as much as I thought they would.
His name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry.
all right. So we
I
had
always get into that.
yeah. So he appeared and he disappeared. He was eliminated by Roman Reigns,
That's right, he
which
was.
you're eliminated by the tribal chief. That's good. You know, TNA World Champion. I believe the first TNA World Champion to enter the Royal Rumble match, thus making history.
Absolutely. He was in there 3.5 minutes. Looks like he probably
Longer
got
than Ludwig
eliminated.
Kaiser.
Yeah. Guys was in there 6 seconds, longer than Santino, longer than
Yeah,
Bushwhacker.
that's right.
But yeah, Hendry looks like he was eliminated by Roman pretty much as soon as Roman decided to enter the ring.
Yeah.
So after Joe Hendry, we had Roman and Drew, Finn, Shinsuke, Jay, AJ, Braun, Cena, Punk, Seth. That is quite a block.
Now let's talk. This is very important to discuss here because This is a message. There's a lot of people that sent messages about a certain um, YouTuber that came in at number 30. And
Mm.
the summary is this
Thanks for nothing. Go yourselves.
from the man himself. Because Logan Paul, I think Jey Uso owes Logan Paul 500 million basement dollars. Now, if you think about it, Logan Paul
Mm-hmm.
eliminated a lot of people. Okay, among them, you ready?
Yep.
AJ Styles
Mm-hmm.
was eliminated by Logan Paul. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins is out of the ring. He's out of the Rumble. I don't know if it was through but there was like a whole chunk of big names that went over because of Logan Paul. And when I say over, I mean over the top rope.
Yeah.
Because
Even
Punk went over, Roman went over, and Seth Rollins went over.
yeah. Even though Logan Paul's only credited with two eliminations, AJ Styles and Punk officially.
Yeah, but like he basically wiped the board a little bit
Mm-hmm.
with all of those. And yeah, if you're Jey Uso, you're thanking Logan Paul. You made it a little bit easier for Jay to win the Royal Rumble match.
Yep.
Um, Now, from what I understand, there was a bit of drama in the Rumble match. That, and this is just like hubbub, Mark shit. I don't know if it's true or not. That LA Knight was spending too much time getting his shit in, as they say,
Mm.
and it kind of botched. Not botched, but when Drew was eliminated from the Royal Rumble by Priest,
Mm-hmm.
like that was supposed to be more of like a focus because that's allegedly supposed to lead to another go round of Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, which
Okay.
the pieces are there
Mm-hmm.
because Drew McIntyre defeated Jimmy Uso and LA Knight to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest, however, next week, he's got a qualifying match against Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
So Damian Priest is going to win that because
Yeah.
Jacob and Braun are going to take each other out.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get Drew and Priest in the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And I think either Priest is going to eliminate Drew
Mm-hmm.
or Drew's going to eliminate Priest from the chamber. My money is on Drew getting eliminated from the chamber by Priest
Mm-hmm.
and
Same.
that starting that shit up all over again.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's history. There's certainly history there, and two big dudes, two big names in the industry right now. It's a good story.
Yeah, you got John Cena,
Mm-hmm.
you got CM Punk,
Mm-hmm.
you got Damian Priest, you got Drew McIntyre.
It's a big match.
And it's not even full yet. Was it like 2 spots left?
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Man, it's the most exciting time of the year, man. I love it.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about it. Jey Uso eliminated John Cena
Yeet.
uh, from the Royal Rumble match.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul still sucks for his hand, and
Mm-hmm.
because it led to Seth Rollins stomping on the Tribal Chief with not one, but 2 feet.
Yup.
Not only did Seth Rollins' 2 feet touch the ground His 2 feet also touch the back of Roman Reigns' head.
Yep.
Um,
According
what do you?
to commentary, Roman is out indefinitely, meaning
That's right.
until WrestleMania.
Or until he decides to start his road to WrestleMania.
Hmm.
Because the rumor is a triple threat match:
Hmm.
CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Which should end with Roman Reigns stacking them on top of each other, and
That's
I'm
right.
down with that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, who knows if that'll happen? But just a few things to correct. But apparently, Io Sky broke the longevity record of the Women's Royal Rumble. It was previously held by Bailey,
Hmm.
who lasted an hour 3 in 2024.
Hmm.
But then the record was broken by Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez less than a minute later.
Hmm.
So a lot
Hmm.
of things happen in that.
Yep.
So um,
They're just rewriting the history books.
let's go with you
Okay.
first. Jey Uso.
Hmm.
He's just won the Royal Rumble. He's kicked John Cena out. Little facts here. According to Mark Observer newsletter, I'm sorry,
Hmm.
Wrestling Observer
Hmm.
newsletter. My pen was upside
Ah.
down.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hmm.
That apparently the plan was for John Cena to, they say, win or enter the Elimination Chamber since October. That's been the plan. To which
Hmm.
I say, you're a fucking liar
Hmm.
and you're full of shit. And you're just saying this because he didn't win the Rumble.
Like,
Um,
did they report this in October?
exactly. And the other thing was, for us, we watched it together,
Hmm.
and you had walked away, but I was still here. They Right before the Royal Rumble match, there was a commercial for the
Hmm.
Elimination Chamber match
Hmm.
featuring John Cena.
Hmm.
That it was his last shot. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe it's not as sealed as I thought, and boy, it wasn't.
Hmm.
And but yeah, okay. So what do you think, Jey Uso? He's won the Royal Rumble match.
So my thoughts in part are in response to your thoughts. So I think we should start with your thoughts.
All right. So at first, and you could see it, that I wasn't happy. I was so mad,
Hmm.
because, and I'm gonna say this because I want to do this before I go into it because people, and I understand we're running a little bit longer than usual. People get upset, and I mean that like fans, fellow fans, at other fans because they're upset at something that they like.
Hmm.
And it confuses me all the time. And also the wrestlers that respond, it's like, why are you so disrespectful? He worked hard, this and that, and he deserved this and that. There was even he deleted it, but Dustin Rhodes said something, basically called them like a basement dweller, you
Hmm.
know, and Basement Bookers podcast, we embrace it, we take the piss out of it because it's like,
Hmm.
to me, it's always, you're just trying to, I feel like you're just using it to downplay someone's opinion.
Hmm.
And sometimes I feel like wrestlers can sometimes be like a cat. It's like, I want you to pet me sometimes,
Hmm.
but you can't pet me like that. And they just get fucking mad. It's like, we care enough that we have like a reaction to the result of this.
Hmm.
What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? I'm not out there waiting for you at the airport to sign my shit so I can sell it
Hmm.
on eBay. I
Hmm.
just have an opinion on the outcome to something I'm invested in.
Hmm.
Like, do you not want that? You know what I mean? And it's not personal. Like, I don't know Jay. When I watch wrestling, I'm watching performers. I'm watching a show about wrestling. You know what I mean? And I'm invested. And yeah, maybe like And when we were on there, and I'm like, Jay,
Mhm.
and you were like basically giving me the go home, and it's like I just went along with it, but in my mind, I'm like, why are you giving me the go home? Why aren't we talking about this more? Why aren't we elaborating on this more? And it's like you just wanted me to have my milky and get my blankie and go to sleep,
No.
because I'm causing a tantrum or something. I'm just expressing
Mhm.
like how I felt, and I'm going to get to that. I know a lot of people like get to the point. So naturally, I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Jay?
Mhm.
But it's like, okay, so in order for Jay to win, Seth Rollins had to lose. In order for Jay to win, Roman Reigns had to lose. In order
Mhm.
for Jay to win, CM Punk had to lose. In order for Jay to win, LA Knight had to lose. You know, um, but that's like a raw reaction, no pun intended for the next night, because I also go into it a little bit on the Monday show when I was talking about it too, but just for here, I got to think about it, I got to sleep on it, and it's like the main reason I was like, we just saw Gunter fold Jay up like a pretzel. You know what I'm saying? We saw
Mhm.
Gunter. I think I don't know for sure. Maybe I'm pretty sure Jay was one of the people that wrestled Gunter for the IC championship, and he got pretty close to winning it.
Yeah.
And I saw Gunter beat him that way too.
Mhm.
And some might say, yes, that is it. It's all leading to that. Now you need to go back further, okay? And if you acknowledge the tribal chief, then you would know that Roman was even saying that you know you could be the next tribal chief to
Mhm.
Jay someday when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? And it could be you, you know, feeding the family. Because,
Mhm.
he even said, why can't it be me feeding my family? Him doing that.
Mhm.
And you can be called main event Jay Uso, but so many times without being main event Jay Uso.
Mhm.
And that's where it turned me around. Like it was foretold by the tribal chief. You know, Jay has to win for my tribal chief to be correct. Jay has to beat Gunter at WrestleMania for my tribal chief to be correct.
Mhm.
And I'm going to have a lot to say about what you're going to say because you did give me a preview yesterday when we were just hanging out.
Mhm.
And I want to close it off by saying there's a lot of people like Jey Uso. The going in from the crowd, you could see it there. They did the one
Mhm.
more time for his music, to which I just fast forwarded because I just want to hear him talk. Let's just go
Mhm.
already. And my new catchphrase, Yeet, that's for you, Jay. That's Yeet, and it's fine. I look if, and I even said this on the Monday show. I said, if thou wish to yeet, thou may yeet. If thou
Mhm.
shalt not yeet, thou shalt not have to yeet.
Mhm.
It's like religion, baby. However you choose to yeet or not yeet is none of my business.
Mhm.
Okay, but I will yeet. Okay, and or yeet like that, like the Jimmy. Because I also have a doctorate. I also have a doctorate at NYU. Okay,
Mhm.
no yeet university. Okay, but Roman said it was going to happen one day. You know what I mean? And Jace, he's selling merch. He's doing the thing.
Mhm.
Um, this could be the next step for him. And then fast forward after Mania, I could be like, yeah, this was right. This was right. Wow, what a moment. Or
Mhm.
maybe I'm like, oh my God, what? I don't know. But that's what makes it exciting. It's also unpredictable
Mhm.
because everyone's under the assumption, like most people, all right, he's going to go up to Gunter. He even said he wants to go up to Gunter to try. He talked like when talking to Cody on Friday. He's like, I still want to see if I can beat Gunter.
Mhm.
Your thoughts?
So, first off, I'm sorry for cutting you off at on our Royal Rumble live watch. At in that moment, it looked to me like you were done. I didn't know you had like 10 more minutes left in you. Anyway, moving on from that, I know in the moment you were not happy with Jay winning, you were disappointed. And to anyone out there that is still upset about Jay Uso winning the Men's Royal Rumble and getting a shot in the main event, one on one at WrestleMania, I will remind you of this. WrestleMania is a 2 night event. Last year, they pulled a swerve where we thought we were getting one match. Then they're like, well, wait a second. We're going to have this tag match with the main eventers the night before, on night one of WrestleMania, that will determine the stipulation for the main event on night two. What I think is going to happen. Now, there's a few ways this can happen, and the Elimination Chamber can absolutely play a part here. At best, I believe Jey Uso is not getting a one-on-one championship match at WrestleMania. I don't know if it becomes a multi-person match or if he loses his spot to someone. There are a few ways this can go. All I know is all of these things, this is a piece. Jey Uso winning the Men's Royal Rumble is a piece of this big puzzle. We don't know what the picture looks like yet. I think last year showed them something. It showed WWE management that they can even swerve us at WrestleMania. I think what they're going to do, they're somehow going to pull the rug out from under Jey. He is not going to get his one-on-one championship match at WrestleMania. And if he somehow does, he's not walking out as champion. I've said it a few times past couple months. Jey Uso can win a world title, just not at this year's WrestleMania. They should give him more time to cook. I need to see more facets of him. I think the world needs to see more facets of him before they give him that. He already got so emotional on Monday, cutting his promo, thanking the crowd after just winning the Rumble. Yes, that's great and that's super relatable, but you still want someone that's going to be able to hold themselves together maybe a little bit better as your world champion. Because ask Cody, there's a lot that comes with that. So I'm just going to leave you with the possibility of Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. Does not guarantee that Jey Uso is fighting one-on-one for the world or undisputed championship at Mania.
All right. So to that, I would say number one, like I'm gonna rank it in like least possible.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they try to take Jay's opportunity away from him,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna upset a lot of people. Like a lot of fans are not gonna like that,
Mm-hmm.
and especially after like just think about it, like that whole the Cody Crybabies thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like just wait for the Yeet crew or whatever the fuck they're gonna call that shit. If
The
they try to pull that shit,
Yeetmeisters.
like I honestly think to like that's a Vince thing to do if you were to take it away from him like that. And like I don't know about that. Make if a multi-person maybe, but like you said, anything could change, and you're probably right. But
Jay versus
for
Cody
me,
versus Cena.
I'm not
Jay versus
interested in that.
Gunter versus Cena.
I'm not interested in that. I was gonna tell you what
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Because put aside, okay, and this is gonna be a thing if you're new here. Like I like the wrestling, but I love stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes on the stick, on the microphone. Those promos? Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
I want that. I don't. I don't want John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso promos. I'm not
Hmm.
nah, nah. I'm not interested in that. There's gonna be too much eating in that one.
Hmm.
Um Honestly, I think that's right there. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. You know, do you really want to pass that torch? That's the way you're gonna do it. Although I might be alone, but I wouldn't mind if John Cena beat Cody Rhodes and got that championship. I would not. I really wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't.
I don't
And
know if I'm putting a lot of stock in Cena hitting 17. I don't know.
that's okay. And that's your right. Much like eating, how you choose to observe is none of my business.
Let
But
me
what
see if
I
I can.
will say,
Yeet. I can't really squeak
no,
anymore.
you can't do it like that. So so I personally, whatever happens,
Hmm.
John versus Cody, and Cody, fine, he wins. I respect that, but they need to put wins under John Cena's belt.
Mm.
He hasn't won a match. That's the streak in a long time.
Hmm.
If he were to win the Elimination Chamber match, that's a huge win considering the field that is forming there.
Hmm.
And you could also be
Elimination
right.
Chamber events haven't historically been great to Cena, and there's a
No,
story to
they
tell there
haven't.
too.
But he's got nothing to lose,
Hmm.
really.
Yeah.
Like he's still John Cena. He's
Hmm.
still the GOAT. Like he does lose that chance to be the champion. This is
Hmm.
his last chance, but he's still John Cena.
Hmm.
Um, and just to bring it back to where you said, well, Cody versus Jay versus Cena, it's like, okay, well, I guess that could be doable because you could have Jay like be there when Cena can't be there for the
Hmm.
program to. But think about it. It's January, right? Is it still
Hmm.
January? It's February.
February.
February. All right. It's February 9th right now, right?
Hmm.
You got all this time. Okay. I think John Cena wins at WrestleMania and he carries the belt until it's his time to go. And and he'll have like a bunch of matches where he wins. That's what I think. I think it's gonna be like when The Rock beat John Cena for the WWE Championship. Except after Rock beat John Cena, he was pretty much gone. Like he'd be there every once in a while,
Hmm.
but John Cena will be there doing his dates and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
then whoever gets it back from him, probably Cody. Um, then it'll just keep going from there. So that's my
Mm.
booking for the WWE Championship under the assumption that Jey Uso goes for Gunter or Gunter and who else? It's a triple threat, whatever. But that's where I'm sitting. That's where I'm
Hmm.
sitting for WrestleMania.
Cena winning the title at Mania somehow would be a great moment. In a way, I've kind of always like. I'm not saying Cena doesn't get it done at Mania, and Cena's not a WrestleMania main eventer, but I feel like if you were to say an event lines up with a person, I think maybe a little more SummerSlam is synonymous with John Cena.
I
Maybe
mean,
that's just me.
maybe,
Hmm.
but I'm just thinking about how long he's going for. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like winning at SummerSlam, that's less time as champion. I think it should be a real run.
Mm.
And there's stories you could tell there because it's like technically John Cena's the underdog. John Cena would be the underdog in this, considering Cody's been wrestling all this time.
Hmm.
John Cena has been filming movies. Has he been keeping up with his training?
He lost to
How's his
Solo.
cardio?
He gave Solo like
Exactly.
Solo's only win.
Yeah, but he lost to Solo so long ago Well, Solo
SummerSlam, I think.
Solo pinned Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that. Speaking of Solo's back.
Yeah.
Solo attacked Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? You know, because earlier there was a promo where, if anybody's going to bring the championship back to the family,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be you, according to Jacob Fatu to Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Did he
So
mean
it's
Solo? Does he mean himself? And, like, he's going to go qualify the Elimination Chamber. I want to
mm-hmm.
see what the interaction between Solo and Jacob's going to be next week, if any.
Yep. I mean, everything that has been done with the bloodline has been done so well. It is, and like they give him these little rest periods. Like Solo's been on his little warpath. Him and Tamatanga got their eyes on the tag titles there, but they're always there. They're always a threat. And Jacob is unhinged. Solo, not quite all there himself. So I can't wait to see what story they tell us this Friday on SmackDown with the Bloodline, or whatever they end up calling
Honestly,
themselves.
like you say that Jacob's unhinged, I
Mm.
don't think he's unhinged. I think he's hinged because he knows what he wants. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think
Hmm.
he knows what he wants. We know what his motivations are, you
Hmm.
know, hurting people, and maybe he wants that gold. You know, he's like a different kind of monster.
Hmm.
He's not, you know,
He's a
he's
cerebral monster.
he's King Kong and Godzilla. Both of
Hmm.
them, apparently. So, but yeah, there's just so much fun going on, and the unpredictability of it all. Like, you can't ask for, man, I'm tired of the same thing always happening, and then they give you Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble, which is different, and then you're
Hmm.
like, but at the same time, like I said before, you're allowed to feel what you want to feel. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair either way to, you know, discount people who weren't, all on board with Jay when it happened,
Hmm.
and discount people who were all on board with Jay. I think it's equal. I think everybody's opinion should be respected,
Yeah.
because everybody's a individual. It's got their own deal.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Knee jerk reactions are what they are. It's like, this is my initial reaction. And then, as you said, time to think, time to simmer. Okay. Like you said, you can't complain about predictability and then complain when they surprise you at the same time.
Yeah, like I said, like, it's documented. How I reacted to Jay,
Hmm.
but I had time to think about it. I've been watching this stuff for a lot of years. You're gonna, if you like something enough, you're gonna be disappointed, or you're gonna be super hyped.
Yeah, going
And
on 40 years we're watching wrestling, man. Each.
yeah, and it's you don't own wrestling.
Right.
I don't own wrestling.
Hmm.
Triple H doesn't own wrestling.
Nope.
Like, collectively, all of us together keep the boat floating.
Hmm.
And there's all different ideas and minds, and different levels. You got people who will get you at the airport. You know what I'm saying? They'll wait at the outside when you're leaving.
Hmm.
Just to get that dap. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's all I'm gonna say. Because we're running really long here because the Rumble was big,
Yep.
huge.
Always is.
Um, but yeah, if you got any comments down there, if you're as upset as I am at Logan Paul for what he's done,
Hmm.
um, then just put it all down there, and hope to address them. Monday, 8 o'clock ish, mostly sharp. We'll be doing the Monday Night Raw. We'll watch Monday Night Raw together, and we hope to see you guys there.
That's right. With that being said, we see a whole lot of new viewers here. We appreciate you. Thank you. If you could just do us a quick solid, hit the subscribe button down below. We're looking to get tons of subscribers. thank you so much. We appreciate you. As always, yeah, the Patreon down below that has all our social media links as well. And Jer's got a party message.
Yeah, we are on the march to 100 subscribers. We recently reached 87. Thank you, number 87. The match of life is scheduled for one fall. So make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the bookers.